Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Good afternoon, Jeffrey Combs. Good to be here with you on Tuesday, Facebook Live. Breathe, release, and let go in a relaxed body. It is 2-4 Tuesday. It is the Golden Mastermind Facebook Live, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 1 o'clock Pacific. The origin of this call goes back all the way to 1999, and I was right over there, a house about 4 blocks over there, when I launched this call at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and originally it was a women's workshop. Then within a year I moved it to 10:30 Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday, and then developed a following where I'd have anywhere from 300 to 500 to as many as 1,000 people. Back in the day when I would interview Jim Rohn, Mark Victor Hansen, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Susan Sly, and a host of many, many exceptional entrepreneurs. I had, Stephen Simon on there, John Assaraf many times. So some really, really exceptional influencers and affluencers back in the day. Today's Facebook Live, the topic is being a starter and being a finisher. A large percent of the world is skilled at starting projects. That is JoJo, the Indian circus boy. They get all geeked up and they're excited to start a new business or to start a project, or they're going to redo their lawn, or they're going to rehab their house or their driveway. They're going to clean out their driveway. They're going to get clean and sober, or any multitude of situations. They start a relationship and they get very excited about the art of the start. And that's where many people start. They're starters, but they're not skilled finishers. And this is why many people have multiple businesses and they're all nonprofits from the uncomfortability of their own home. And if you're running a nonprofit today, now is a good point or a good day to take a really good look at yourself and ask yourself, what are you avoiding? What are you procrastinating? And so that's what I want to cover with and for you today, is what it means to be a starter, but most importantly, a finisher. The old adage, the term, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Well, I don't believe that that's completely that black and white. But I ask people frequently, did you make your bed today? Did you make your bed every day? Have you made your bed every day for a number of years? Good afternoon, Ashley, and good afternoon, Kevin. Honored to have you here with me on the Starter Finisher Facebook Live. And the way you do one situation is the way you will do some of them. And if you're habitual in your habits and you're very skilled at details, follow through, follow up, you're methodical, have a system, have a routine, and you live by it, don't avoid it, and then don't rebel against it, there's a high probability you'll experience success in multiple places because you're a skilled finisher. So many people start a project and then do not finish it. How many of you grew up with parents that had projects that were never finished? I mean, they started a construction project and 10 years later, it's still not finished. Or there's a car in the garage that was going to get rehabbed. Or there's a motorcycle and there are parts all over and it's left there. The attic is a disaster, or multitudes of situations. Closets are a complete wreck. The refrigerator is a disaster with old food. And this is how many people live in an overwhelmed state of anxiety. And if you grew up in that, your signal to noise ratio would grow up in unpredictability, because people who live like this live in an overwhelmed state of consciousness unconscious. And if you grew up with parents who were addicts, if you grew up with parents who were narcissists, there's a high probability that you were in a hypervigilant state in fight or flight. And then if you had events that your parents caused that caused you shame, or you were involved in events that you didn't feel good enough, you were held back in a class, you were considered to have ADD, ADHD, or the acronyms that the Rockefeller school system has put out there for us to do what they do and send us to these places where we consume the red and the blue pill. So if that was you back in the 60s and 70s, and then you became a starter but not a finisher, well, there is a reason. And if you are in a position that the pain is great enough and you've suffered enough and you're ready to address that, well, today is a really good day to take a deep dive and a deep look into cause and effect of why you do what you do. So are you a starter and a finisher? Or are you a starter? Also, do you wait till the last minute to finish projects? Because you can be a finisher, but at the last minute. The ideal situation is to start a project with a clearly defined method, a routine and a goal, and an outcome that you seek to create, and you finish it on time. And if you're that personality, you will attract your reality more frequently other like-minded success seekers who operate in that same level of flow that you do. And if you're building a leverage business where you have clients and customers, you require clients and customers and teammates like this who are dependable. The starter is seldom dependable. The starter overpromises, over-obligates, tells people what they want to hear, and don't finish the projects. In the construction contracting business, this can make or break a project. And if you're a homeowner and you've hired people like this, or if you're a contractor and you have subcontractors who overpromise and underdeliver, this can absolutely hinder the ability to finish projects. Finishing is an identity. So if you're in baseball and you come in the ninth inning and your role is to be the closer, you're coming in to close. If you're a sales professional and you have the prospect at the decision table, it is your responsibility to close that sale or to let that prospect go. Even if you let the prospect go, you are finished with that situation. I did that earlier today with someone. We were playing this game of who speaks first loses, and I just broke the silence and said, I'm not going to do this, so I'm done. Have a great afternoon. Goodbye. And I mean, I finished. I'm not going to ask anymore. I'm done with that prospect. I'm done pursuing that situation, and I am done, finished, completed. That is finishing. And when you are a finisher, you will put the last nails in the wood. You will put that 16-penny nail to take it out of your mouth, and you pound it in there like that. And you'll stand back and look at it, and that is a finished project. That is the art of completion. The project is finished. So I'm a finisher. I complete everything. I mean, that's just how I am, what I do. I did not grow up like that in my household. There were multiple projects that were undone. And so Kevin says I get jobs routinely to finish the job my contractor left undone. Yes, I understand. So that is a skill set. And there are contractors who get called to finish contractors who screw up other jobs. Many contractors don't like to come in behind them unless there's extenuating circumstances or they're being paid, they're compensated well for their time and their value. And you'll find that many people in the home construction area, I have experienced it many times with many contractors, it's an overpromise, underdeliver situation, more business than they can possibly handle, telling the client what they think the client wants to hear. I once sent one of my employees over to a project where a contractor was working on a house and he was lying to me. It was a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll be out there Monday. Oh, I'm so far. I'll be out there Wednesday. I'll be out there Friday. I'll be out there Monday. I mean, exhausting. So I sent my one of my assistants over there, and it wasn't pretty what I had him do, but it was able to ring the bell, and it got the task done. And so many of you have experienced this in your life and understand it. If you've ever done internet marketing, web work, or had systems built, it's invariably, it'll be done today, and it's not. Or if you've ever bought sales funnels, you get no business from it. You invest $10,000 and you get nothing from it. Oh, we'll have to put another $3,500 in this month, and you have to be patient. It has to build up. The traffic has to build. I mean, this is how many people who are not skilled at finishing communicate. They tell people what they think they want to hear. They overpromise, they underdeliver, and most of all, they lie. And if this is you, today is a good day to really take your sobriety to the next level and understand these two words, rigorous honesty. Finished starters are chronic liars to themselves about when they're going to finish a project. They typically overstate and aren't available. Have you ever called someone when they said they'd be there in a business situation and they weren't there and they didn't call you back? Well, that's another situation of not finishing. And this is also why so many people, when you have them at the decision table and you ask them for a commitment and then they go into, well, they check out, they're now telling you a story, oftentimes unrelated to the very situation. They're going to check their finances. Well, that would take about 5 minutes. Or they're going to talk to someone significant, the other, my significant other, or someone down the street, the dog catcher, someone in their circle of influence, their accountant. But let me check my finances is one of the oldest wives' tales in the world. Let me talk to someone else, specifically my wife, significant other, whoever it is. But these are people who can't decide. And if you're ever on a phone with someone or in person with someone and you've presented the opportunity and then you're going, are you in a position to purchase? And they go, and they go into fight or flight and you're playing this waiting game. I mean, you can only wait so long. You just, you know what, dude, I'm just going to pack it up. I'm going to finish it for you. And when you're a finisher, you'll finish it for other people who can't finish because they are wasting your time. And that's what a finisher does. A finisher does not waste their time with non-qualified buyers, non-qualified teammates, non-qualified prospects. I mean, just give me an answer. I mean, I'm not in a position to buy. It's cool with me rather than lying to me. I had someone last year, she said, you have my word. I'm like, I have your word. No, I don't have anything from you because your word doesn't mean anything based on the way you're telling me that. So she told me, you have my word that I will hire you on January 1st. Well, her word wasn't worth anything because on January 1st, she joined the Witness Protection Program. It's called the DC, the Disappear Club. And I'm not a prospect stalker. I don't follow up and chase people down. And I don't believe in 37 calls to close that sale. I let people go easily and effortlessly because of the law of supply and demand. There's plenty of demand for my services, and I'm not going to operate in scarcity, lack, or PC, poverty consciousness. And when you're a finisher, you're a closer, you finish projects on time. When you're in sobriety and your word is law, you don't overstate yourself. You don't lie to yourself about when you're going to finish complete. And you want to be able to take in your sobriety, you want to be able to have a sense of accomplishment about following through with people and doing what you tell them you're going to do. Because what you're doing is if you're in recovery, you're more than likely a pathological liar and you're starting to tell the truth and you're starting to be in integrity as you let go of denial and you're not telling people what you want to hear. You're not telling them what you think they want to hear. And you're not telling yourself what you think you want to hear because you now live in clarity and rigorous honesty in a program of sobriety, recovery, and higher consciousness. And anytime you don't tell the truth, you've just dropped from consciousness down into falsehood because now you've dropped down into a place where you'll be in shame because you are lying or you're in a narcissistic behavior, telling people what you want to hear, or you're in codependency, enabling, over-obligating, doing more for others than you do for yourself. And this addiction, people definitely have challenges finishing because they put themselves last and they take care of others first and then they come last. And because they come last, the chaos compounds. The garage has a car that can't be parked in it. And there's things everywhere because of how unorganized, undisciplined, overwhelmed, in chaos, drama, and trauma that a large percent of the population lives in. How many of you grew up with a mother that was a hoarder, a grandmother that was a hoarder? How many of you grew up in a household that was unorganized, undisciplined? How many of you had a refrigerator that was always full? Bills were paid late. Electricity was getting shut off. Multitude of situations that kept the household in fight or flight, overwhelmed feelings, recreating the same situation to fulfill the neurochemical craving of being emotionally addicted to a set of feelings. And if you're in that household as a child, you're going to be taking on some of that energy because you're living what is called unpredictability. And if you're living in unpredictability, now it's going to become an identity. That means you're not certain. This is why so much of the population says guess and kinda in a sentence, because that communication is not clear. So clarity is your ability to see what has not happened. It is your ability to manifest the outcome that you are committing to create. Clarity is your ability to have a vision of what you're capable of, and then you prepare and execute. The execution component is the delivery. It's the follow-up. It's the follow-through. It's being on task. It's being on point. It's being on time. And when you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings, you are you and you are free. Breathe, release, and let go in a relaxed body. And when you're more comfortable with yourself, when you're more at ease with yourself, then you are in the flow. You're flowing in a flow state. Breathe, release, and let go in a relaxed body. It's in that relaxed body that you're able to commit and follow through on. But if you're frantic and you're overwhelmed and you're anxious and all these other situations, then you will continue to have challenges finishing. When you let go and relax and start to have clearly defined boundaries. To be a finisher, it requires boundaries. And to be a finisher, it requires being able to let people go that make demands on your time that don't qualify for it. When someone sends me a long letter like this, wanting me to do things and I'm their coaching client, I'm not doing it. I'll do it in their hour that they hired me to coach them. That's a clear boundary when you operate in that level of consciousness. Are you a starter or a finisher? If you're in recovery, congratulations, you're moving into higher levels of finishing by breathing, releasing, and letting go in a relaxed body. Breathe, release, and let go in a relaxed body. Jeffery Combs, if you're watching this content on replay and you're looking for coaching, if you're serious about coaching, I offer free 20-minute coaching sessions. Or if you're an existing client, want to find out some of my unique offers, send me a Facebook message. I would be honored to connect with you on a Breathe, Release, and Let Go Tuesday. I'll be back here online tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific. Have a great afternoon, everyone.